Well, hi everyone. Happy
Hello,
Thursday.
everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Happy Thursday night. We're really, really glad that everybody's joining us. We're going to take a minute to just welcome everyone because it's always, it takes a minute for everybody to pop on, right, Michael?
Absolutely.
And this is our Thursday night words of wisdom from the amazing Dr. Michael Gross. Now say
Hello,
hello
everyone.
again.
Thank you. We already thank you. I have some exciting things to share with you. I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate all of you joining us. We'd like you all to be aware that you can feel free to ask any questions you have. T will be putting information on the chats, and any questions you have, she'll be glad to relate to me. So we'll make this interactive. We'll all be sharing, and I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Cool. Now let's go ahead and introduce Dr. Michael Gross for those of you who really don't know who he is yet. Dr. Michael Gross has been working for over 30 years as a spiritual teacher, a multidimensional healer, an energy and transformational coach. As an energy multidimensional healer, Dr. Michael Gross works with your soul, your oversoul, your light body, cellular body, subconscious and unconscious mind, your life force energy, your body frequencies, body timing, vibrations, emotional and mental bodies. Wow, that's a mouthful, isn't it? He also works with individuals while retrieving fragmented parts of their souls. And he helps you understand the future as well as experiences that have occurred for you in the past that are currently affecting you. So, Dr. Michael Gross offers workshops, including reconnecting to God, the true source, through cellular release, manifestation protocols, energy multidimensional healing, enlightenment, and many others. His vast store of knowledge includes positive affirmations, spiritual techniques that powerfully affect your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, family, and vocation and life path to achieve your unlimited life. He is also an international intuitive consultant for corporations and has traveled over half the world. His clients are in the US, in Australia, New Zealand, South America, Asia, and other countries. Dr. Michael Gross is an international radio, has been on international radio shows in the past. And I'm going to give you a little highlight of his knowledge, his education, and then there's one more thing we'd like to add before we get into the message for the day, okay? Dr. Michael Gross has a doctorate of alternative healing and psychology. He's a certified professional hypnotherapist. He's also a thought field therapist, timeline therapist, Reiki master, and teacher. He has a master's in science and human services and gerontology, a bachelor's of science in human services and gerontology, sorry. He's also a multidimensional minister, and he's also a Washington State Supreme Court certified professional guardian, graduate, and guardian ad litem. So the one thing that I really, really, really want to point out is that Dr. Michael Gross has been in the world of his I guess his domain, what he's been doing for almost 40 years, I think. And with that, he's also gleaned a lot of knowledge by working with individuals and seeing, results and how things are happening and changing further in their lives. So he also has created a nonprofit. It's a 501c3. And Michael, take a minute to let everybody know about it, okay? And then go on with the message for the day.
Yes, it's 501c3 called the International Institute of Self Empowerment. I'm really proud of that. It was True Source inspired. It's going to have 12 arms, and the first arm is working with abused women, children, and men. I'm going to have more exciting news to share later on with that. Not later on today, but in a, probably in a few weeks or a month, maybe a little shorter. And the first phase of the arm is dealing with and helping and assisting abused women, children, and men. And I've invited Tio Knapp to be director of that division. So thank you, Tio, for being part of that. And we'll have more exciting news. But some of you are watching this, and tax season's coming up. And if you're looking to make donations, we're a 501c3, and we'd be happy to receive your donations. It'll be put to good use. So thank you. Appreciate all of you joining us, and I would ask all of you to tell others. And in discussions, what should be discussed tonight is your thoughts and your body, and that's so important. This is a period, the year 2024. It's a year of karma. And what is the karma? It's actually a review of karma. It's also karma, well, things will be coming out about things that have been going on in your life and then going on in the medical field, the political field, your friendships. All this will be going on. And it's so great that this is happening. And it's also, I wanted to discuss about how your thoughts and your body, because since this is a year of karma, it's a year of healing. And that's what's so important. And I want to remind everybody that karma is nothing but an experience. That's all it is. And it's a self-empowering. In other words, you're experiencing certain things, karma, perhaps from this lifetime, a past lifetime, to empower you and heal you. And that's what's so great about this year. Yes, it'll be a little trying, but it'll be as easy as you so desire it to be. Or if you want it to be like Mount Rainier, that 14,400 and some odd feet tall, you can make it that tall and that difficult. The choice is yours, and it's always been yours. So let's talk a little bit about your thoughts and your body. Everything you think of, every experience you have, is stored somewhere within your body. When I say somewhere within your body, physically, mentally, and emotionally, in every organ in your body, your cellular structure. And if you're not realizing that, your cellular structure, the atoms, protons, neutrinos, mitochondria, laminin, so on and so forth, which I call the soup mix, has an intelligence and it's responding in two ways. One, in the way you treat your body, two, the way you think about your body, and three, about your emotions and how you feel about your emotions. And if we bother to think, if you've been under stress, people have high blood pressure, ulcers, or perhaps other things going on in their life, anxiety, frustration, headaches, on and on and on, a plethora of different things. And what I wanted to address is a very unique and simple way for us to heal our bodies. And it's so easy, yet, we as human beings make a big deal about it. Most importantly, we have to look at our body as a temple. And now you've probably heard this again, but it's a very, very precious temple. And it responds to the way you treat it, what you eat, what you feel, your energy, your vibrations, your frequencies, how you relate to different things. And sometimes we ignore it. And many times you go to a physician or a psychologist or perhaps to even a chiropractor, or maybe alternative healing doctors, or even traditional doctors, or whatever you may go to, and you're looking for a Band-Aid. That's what I call a Band-Aid. And when you're looking at a Band-Aid, you're looking for something so that you're not in that pain or anxiety or frustration. Really, we're not getting to the core issue. And your thoughts and your belief in your life create your body, your core issues, and what can be healed and not healed. And that is so important for us to look at. Look at your body as a perfect machine, well oiled, so to speak, running perfectly. And even if you bruise it when you were a kid, you fell, maybe you banged your knee, you got black and blue mark, or perhaps maybe you twisted your ankle or even broke your leg or whatever, and it heals really quickly, right? And that's because not only is your body growing as a child, but it's because you don't have the hang-ups and the doubts and the fears. It's like stuff happens. And I remember my son around the age of 8 or 9, he broke his collarbone and it healed like in a couple of weeks, that fast. And you'll say, well, he's young, the bones knit together, and so on and so forth. But the impediments of life, the doubts, the fears, the anxiety, the insecurities are not there 95 or 99% of a young child. So where do they get these doubts and fears and anxieties and so on and so forth? Well, congratulations. You are the parents, you're the architect of those feelings and emotions of your children. Not only are you the one, but your family, friends, relatives, even religiosity is, and even our teachers are, wherever our teachers are, whether it's school or religious school or perhaps the teachers in life. And that's why I wanted to address this evening, because I wanted all of you to understand that you can heal your body. And in talking to the true source, and asking the true source about healing the body, I said, why is spirituality so difficult? True source said, because you humans have to make a big deal about it. I guess you're right. We have to complicate things. This is what I intend to address, and if I feel we don't have enough time, we'll do a part 2, but we'll see how it goes. When your body is out of balance, think about it. Now, when you have a teeter-totter, some of you remember what a teeter-totter is. It's a board with something in the middle. It could be an old barrel. It could be some kind of a stand or whatever. And it will sit there like this. And then it rocks back and forth. That's a teeter-totter for those of you who don't know what it is. And what happens is, you get on one end and the other person gets on the other end. And if you're the same identical weight, you'll be this way. But usually one person could be a pound or two heavier or whatever. And so it'll start going back and forth and back and forth. But look at that as life, as you're going back and forth in your life, you're teeter-tottering, yes, no, maybe, maybe not, so on and so forth. And what we do is we adapt and adopt certain belief systems. And that's why I chose as my branding, part of my branding is You Are Unlimited. And those of you who have young children, and even older, start adapting and adopting You're Unlimited. Or you may have another one, but I prefer to say You're Unlimited. So what does that really mean? Well, it means you can do anything, right? You're unlimited. You can make your body sick. You can make your body healthy. You can be poor. You can be successful. You can be in between. And as the true source said, what you think you create, what you create, you experience. So therefore, being the script writer of your life, you are in charge of all the chaos, all the love, beauty, prosperity, abundance, and so on and so forth. But what happens is something very important. It's our lack of patience. That is so important. We don't have patience. And I talk about FABA, and I like acronyms because that helps me remember a lot of things. FABA is Frank, Barbara, Apple. So FABA, faith, belief, and acceptance. That's so important. And the way we usually work, if we ask for healing of our bodies or healing of a certain part of our body, we have to have faith, belief, and acceptance. Well, I've addressed this before, but I want to address it again. Then I'll go into a little deeper. Well, first of all, acceptance is, yeah, I accept this healing. Belief I am worthy of it, and faith it's going to be happening. But our human side of us, our ego, goes, well, it hasn't happened yet. Of course it hasn't happened. Why are you asking it hasn't happened? And then people go into denial with me. Well, I believe it, but it hasn't happened yet. Then if you believe it, why are you saying it hasn't happened yet? We lie to ourselves or we trick ourselves. Is it intentional? Of course we don't do it intentionally. Do we have doubt? Yes. And then you tell somebody. And I have a client that as an intuitive, I'll say something and she'll check it with everybody else. And she'll get everybody's opinion and she's still confused. So the most important thing is when you're doing a healing in your body, does it feel good in you? Does it feel right? As far as I'm concerned, when asking for healing, it sure enough does feel right. All right. And if somebody says something, intuitively, automatically, whether it feels right or not. But then the ego goes in there. Well, is it or isn't? Maybe it is. Somebody said this, somebody said that, so on and so forth. And immediately you do that, you're giving up your power, your strength, and you're denying your soul of what your soul is confirming. That's so important for us to realize. So here's our body, and it's a subconscious mind is a collector of information. We would say your hard disk or backup disk when the computer, whatever you want to call it. And just like your computer, when you turn it on, it's downloading all this software and all this information. Well, you're downloading information. Guess what? 24/7. You think you're really sleeping? You're not. Your eyes are closed. You're out of your body. You're working on the spiritual plane. You're reviewing your life. You're looking at positivity and negativity. You're trying to accomplish different things. And all this is going through you simultaneously. So, like I tell everybody, when you leave your body and you go to what I call the inner plane, or you would say the spiritual plane, you it looks like 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock on a freeway, bumper to bumper. There's so much information going on. It's huge. And then you get confused. I remember a student many years ago, she wanted to do what they call talking books, which is, we have changed the name, but anyway, that you would put a CD in and would play in your car, and her husband wanted to get a boat. And so she came to me in the class, and I did an intuitive reading, said it'd be successful. She came in one day. I went to 9 intuitives. They all said it would be successful, but the 10th said it wouldn't be, and they were right. It wouldn't be successful. And I went, well, if I got a 90% success rate, heck, I would accept that because that's pretty good. What about the 10%? And the 10% was she was doubting because she was getting pressure from her husband, and she never accomplished it because he wanted to buy a boat. And whatever reason, she acquiesced and gave in to him for that. But it just shows you how our subconscious and ego mind works out of fear or doubt or insecurities. So here we are, and you are looking at your life, and this year you have that opportunity to heal yourself. So let's talk about what is it necessary, or how do you heal yourself? Well, first of all, you have to have faith, belief, and acceptance that you're able to heal yourself. It's not impossible. Can you go to an allopathic doctor? Do you need to go to one? Well, that goes along your belief system. It's interesting. It goes along your belief system. So am I advocating you don't go and see a doctor? No. I'm saying it all has to do with your belief system. And yet, when you go to a doctor, and I know souls that have had cancer, they always talk about your mental attitude. You have to be positive. So there is some semblance of realizing your energy will create whatever it needs to be in your body. Should you go to see a naturopathic doctor, allopathic doctor, or some doctor? I would say if that's what you feel you need, then you do it. But why don't you enhance it? And in enhancing it it's bringing an energy and understanding that if you're going to have an operation, whatever it is, that you can heal rather quickly. I remember one of my students saying that, well, she needed this operation and she's going to be out for 3 months. And I said, why do you think it's going to be 3 months old or long to heal? Well, that's what the doctors say. Well, you can make this more quickly. So it took 3 months. And she said to me, did I prolong the healing? Yep, you did. And there's no judgment on my part. I mean, that was a realization that she had. And I bring these stories out to you because it is your realization that you can speed things up or you can drag them out in your life and your healing. But you can speed up healing your physical, emotional, or mental pain, or you can make it last for a lifetime or whatever you so desire. And the point I'm trying to bring out to all of you is that you are the determiner of how long you're going to be out of commission, ill, whatever you want to call it, and how long you want it to be, or how quick you want to heal. It's up to you. This realization of this is that it's up to you. We have to go back and look at why am I have this unbalance in my body or disbalance or uneasiness in my body? Because if your body's not balanced, you're going to have some kind of physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, you know, illness. And that's so important for you to realize. But don't beat yourself up. The secret of it is to say, okay, let's say I got a back pain. And what is the back indicative of? Well, carrying a heavy emotional load, or perhaps taking too much on, too much responsibility on, which is a heavy emotional load, or whatever it may be. Or maybe you're working in an industry where if you're a carpenter or a bricklayer or whatever, you can injure your back and you're just unhappy with your job. And it's indicative that you're carrying the emotion of this job you dislike. So, what I would say, I used to say, go back and look at the cause, but now I've changed the wording. It's called reverse engineering, which means go back and take a look. Well, why did this happen in my life? What is it that I'm going on in my life? And we'll say, I hate this job. That's what people say. Well, if you hate this job and it's a heavy emotional load, bingo, it's your back. Okay. Let's say you're worried about your finances. Usually back problems are usually tied to finances. Well, maybe you overspent money. That's true. Maybe you're not cautious with your money. That's true. Maybe you're worried about losing a job. But you have to think what's so important is that the true source doesn't want you to go poor, hungry, destitute, unless you want to experience that. And, I talked to so many people, and I was talking to one soul, and I said, you ought to start this business and do this. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, why? I want passive income. I don't want to work. Well, you made some investments, you lost money. So what do you think? Well, it's just going to come to me. Okay. And we know what's going to happen on that one. It's probably not going to happen. And then I had another client that was overweight, and she said she's going to take off weight. I said, oh, that's great. How are you going to do that? Oh, God's going to take it off. I'll just talk to God and take it off. Next year I saw her, she gained another 30 pounds. Second year, gained another 40 pounds. I didn't say anything. And then I saw her 2 years later, and she'd taken off over 140 pounds. What'd you do? Well, I went on a diet, and I also had what is it, where they close down the stomach so you eat a little bit less. That I forget what they call that procedure, but it's kind of interesting. Again, I didn't say a word. So, can the true source really help you take off weight? Yes, the true source can. And I'll just tell one other story. So, what does it really work? The true source doesn't do anything to take off weight. It's your mindset, your energy, and your frequency and vibration. And I remember one of my clients, she wanted to take off weight, maybe only 20 pounds. And she said, not working, not working, not working. Now she got disgusted, not working, on the heck with it. In the fourth month, she started taking off weight. She told me, I said, yeah, because you let go of the doubt. And what your psyche did and your vibrations and frequencies was in line with what you're manifesting with the true source, which is to take off weight. And I know Tia wants to say something, so go ahead.
Well, I have a question. Why is it that when people have an issue with their health and they go to the doctor, the allopathic one who gives them a prescription, they cling they're so trusting of the prescription that they still haven't changed their own mindset. They're still thinking, okay, I've got the pills, I'm going to be fine. When in essence, all they've done is, like you said, the pills are putting a Band-Aid on something because they're not looking at the root of the problem.
Well, I believe it's twofold. Number one, they don't want to change their life. They're too stubborn. Number two, the doctor is not telling you that, yes, you're, let's say, diabetic, okay? So you're diabetic, but if you control what you eat, your food, you exercise, and so on and so forth, then you can change your life. But I met a lot of friends that are diabetic. Well, I'm going to have ice cream and pie. So they take an extra shot, and they take an extra shot. And what happens is, oh, I can eat the ice cream cake, but they still have a problem with diabetes. And I had a very dear friend, and he had high blood pressure. He was diabetic. and I guess there may have been something else I can't remember. And he started exercising, he started changing his eating habits, and so on and so forth. And guess what? High blood pressure pills were off. He was on blood thinners. He was off of that. He was no longer diabetic because he changed his lifestyle. He changed his lifestyle because why? He believed he could change and heal. Faith, belief, and acceptance. He believed it, he accepted it, and he had faith it's going to work, and it did. Isn't that incredible? It's
It's
so easy.
amazing.
We humans have to make a big deal out of everything. So I wanted to bring all of that up, and I noticed we're at, let's see, almost 26 minutes, and this is for a half an hour. So we are going to do part two, and we're going to talk more about your body and you, and what processes you can use to heal your body, short of going to a doctor, or maybe going to a doctor and employing and using these healing techniques and healing yourself. You will know at the right time what to do, combination, individually, whatever it is. But the most important thing, you have to heal yourself mentally and emotionally. If you don't do that, I don't care what you're doing, you're going to be challenged with your body. All right, so we're moving up in the moments, in the minutes, and I wanted to share some things. First of all, I want to thank all of you for joining us. I would like you all to uh, recommend these Thursday evenings from 7 to 7:30 Pacific Daylight Time. If not, there's what we call the replays, and you can watch that. You go to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, you can see the replays of all this, plus other messages. There are verbal messages, motivational thoughts. I give 10-minute little talks, and you can listen to those. There's a beautiful photograph with a brief little information or motto, if you will, or a motivational thought. And the photographs are made by award-winning photographer Tio Knapp. So I would say do that. But I wanted to inform all of you that on every Tuesday evening is called Soul Awakening. Now, some of you who are watching this, it's reviewing your thoughts. Perhaps you're learning something new. And even if you're at this as long as I have been, it's my book coach, Patrick Snow, great book coach, a little plug for him, says, well, Michael, how does it feel to vote for Abraham Lincoln? And I said, it's really great. So I love the Emancipation Proclamation. And that's a little joke that how long I've been doing this work. But I'd like all of you to realize that this Tuesday night is so important. You'll learn something new, even if you don't have a question. Or maybe you know this and you forgot about it. And to access that for now, because it will be changing the format, is on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 Pacific time to 7:30 p.m., including a 10-minute motivational message. It's freeconferencecall.com. In order to access that information to you, would you be so kind to tell them how to do that?
I will. The number is 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 pound.
I'll give it one more time. I've also put it in the comments under the Facebook page, okay? It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 pound. I love doing that. Using those same codes, the second Saturday of every month, called the Mass Consciousness Healing. And that goes from 9:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time to 11:01 Pacific Daylight Time. And that second Saturday, what I would do is we introduce ourselves, we chat for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and then we go into a deep, deep, deep meditation. And it's to heal Mother Earth and it's all its inhabitants, the animal, mineral, vegetable king, and us. It's so important that it's a healing and enlightening to us. And the feelings and emotions that you have will certainly carry you through for the month or even longer. Because you see, as you bring this energy of healing, and the basic energy of the healing is unconditional love. not only does it transform your body, but transform Mother Earth and all its inhabitants. So I would encourage you to all do that. And to access that is the same code as the Tuesday night. And would you give us that information one more time?
Absolutely. It's 202-926-1059. And the access code, Michael?
125446 #. Same number as the Tuesday evening. But there's something else too, and I call it the replay, or if you can call it the recall. And that is every motivational message that's 10 minutes long, you can access this information. And I would suggest you doing it. You're stuck in traffic, you're tired, you're grumpy, you're going to work, or whatever. And it's a great thing is when you're stuck in traffic and getting frustrated. There are 300 and I looked it up yesterday, 19 messages. That's quite a bit. That's over a period of time. And most are anywhere from 10 to 12 minutes long, one or two maybe a little bit longer, but heck, if you're stuck in traffic or you're trying to meditate or relax, what difference does it make? So, Tia, would you be so kind as to give them that information?
Absolutely. That number is 434-300-4170. And the access code, Michael?
125446 # again. One more time, please.
Yep. 434-300-4170. And the code, Michael?
125446 #. So it's so important that, listen to these. And if you're a newbie, as I call, listen to number 92 and just play it all the way through, because that information is going to go, what is this? Why is he saying this? And then listen. And then within 20 seconds, it all makes sense. So a lot of these are not labeled with a name. And I've done this intentionally. Not that I'm lazy, but I've done it intentionally. Because this is going to be a test of allowing your soul to choose what number you want to listen to. So I started at the number 3 and goes to 319. So what one should I listen to? Well, what number do you feel? Well, I feel like 172. Okay, so choose 172. And I cannot tell you the feedback that I got. Michael, I chose 172. I don't know why I chose it, just what I needed to hear. And that's beginning to trust yourself. So it's so important. Also, I'd like to discuss one other point, and that is I've created an MP3, and it's called Raising Your Vibrations. And it's about 59 minutes and 48 seconds long. You like that? About? Well, anyway, almost 60 minutes long. And what I would suggest you playing it, and just if you will email me, Dr. Michael Gross, the number 1 at gmail.com, Dr. Michael Gross 1 at gmail.com, or you can go to drmichaelgross.com to my website, and you can request that. And the reason I'm doing that is very specific, and that is I play mine at night, and it's, I don't know, it's about 8 or 9 years old, and I play it at night because it works with my soul while I'm out of my body. But I've had people at work, and they'll play it on silent, and people come in angry and they don't want to leave the office. They feel relaxed. And you're probably saying, well, silent, it has sounds of rain and water. I really don't like the sounds of rain and water, but other people do. I always play mine on silent. However, if you like that and it relaxes you, go for it. This is what's interesting. So I had clients that were working for Boeing, and Boeing, they go through their challenges as every corporation does. And this one woman, she would play it all the time on silence. And the executives would come in with frustrations and they wanted things done. And they began to relax and didn't want to leave her office. And she would chuckle. They didn't know why they liked being in her office. So that is something I would suggest you to do. And when you're meditating, or just when you want to relax or you're under stress, it will make a difference. So again, email me at Dr. Michael Gross, numerical 1 drmichaelgross@gmail.com, or you can go to drmichaelgross.com and you can go onto my website and leave it. So I'd like all of you to be aware of that. You have the opportunity to do that, and then I will forward you that information. So actually, it will make a difference. Also, boy, I got a lot to say. Also, I'm offering a complimentary half-hour session with you. Anything I can help you with, it'll be a half an hour long. If it takes a little longer, so what? Because I'm in service to help empower and work with all of you. So I wanted to pass that on. Tia, is there anything you want to say before we begin to close?
I have listened to your recordings, and I love starting my day with those. I also do the white noise all the time, and I have it on silent at night. But it's, when I meditate, it's on. It's like it's such a soothing, comforting energy that's coming into the room. So thank you for inviting other people to also share that. And I want to say, gotcha.
You do. We have a little competition, but before we talk about that, I just wanted to add one more, and that in the Raising Your Vibrations, that was approximately 4 hours with the True Source to bring that energy into an MP3. That's how much time I spent bringing that energy into it, asking the True Source to create that. It is very powerful, but there's going to be more and more MP3s coming up. All right, so back to our books.
Perfect, Michael, because I want the more MP3s. You're awesome.
Thank you. So I wanted to talk to all of you about this book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul, written by Tia Knapp. It's a book about dragging yourself through the gutter and emotions and frustrations and insecurity and a lot of other things, which I don't want to go into now, and then being like the mythological phoenix rising from the ashes. It's in a book about emotions and healing and self-empowerment. It's a book about creating a new life through all the trials and tribulations, and it was really a difficult life. This is a must read, so I recommend it. And the reason we talk about her book, by the way, is that we're not in the business to sell books. What we are is trying to help you find a way of life and peace and joy. And that's what's so important. So I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Michael. That's my story through domestic violence. And you know what? Michael's helped me through all that, slogging through the gutter and everything. So, but start with this book, okay? Because the first day I met him, I got this book. Okay, this is actually the second edition. So he's got a second edition out now, but the first edition is the one I hold on to. It's like it's my go-to when life gets a little bit too upside down. But here's the thing: if it wasn't for this book and the gentleman sitting right over there on the virtual screen, he wouldn't have that book in his hand because it wouldn't be in existence. I wrote it because he encouraged me to write my story, and I'm so very, very grateful that he's worked with me for 4 years. Can you believe it, Michael? 4 years, and I wouldn't.
A Purple Heart for that.
There's been a lot of tears, a lot of comfort, a lot of kindness, a lot of growth, and I wouldn't trade a tear for the blessings that I have with you in my life. Thank you so much. So start with this book and get a hold of that gentleman next to me, because he offers you a 30-minute complimentary consultation, and it's well worth your time. Trust me.
Thank you. And I want to remind all of you that if you're interested in the book, everybody goes to Amazon. They're sold out of the book. I haven't added the second edition for a specific reason, because if you're interested in it, I can put a little bit of an inscription in it, and I will tune into what your soul needs and some thoughts that'll help empower you, because my mission and goal in life is to help you reconnect with the true source and do your spiritual mission and goals. And I tell you, we need it if you're looking at our planet. But enough of that. So I want to thank all of you for joining us. I want to wish you a great week. Please talk to others about listening to these messages, whether it's verbal or audible, the same thing, or whether you see on Facebook or YouTube. Please share that, because we're all about changing the lives and enhancing your life. And remember, you are unlimited. Thank you, everyone. You have a great week. Namaste. And remember,
Namaste.
we love you. Take
We
care.
love you.
Bye-bye.